We've just had Andrew Tate, someone who is the most Googled person on earth. And it's very interesting that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would use such a person. It's very interesting that Allah would use someone like him. And we ask Allah to protect him and to actually make this conversion sincere. What are your thoughts on that?
You know, I'll be honest with you, as much as it might sound very strange, but then when the hype came, I obviously found out, and I checked him out, and I was very happy. And mashallah, he seems like a very sincere brother, and he says what he feels. That means the hypocrisy factor doesn't seem to be there at all. In fact, it probably isn't, because he says it as he thinks. Yeah, that's how it comes across, alhamdulillah. So it's a good thing. And what I believe Islam would do for a brother like that is amazing. It would streamline his ideas, and actually, between misogynism and feminism, those are the terminologies that people use today. We have a beautiful Islam. I know I faced some of my friends, some scholars as well, and some regular Muslims who sometimes have told me certain things. No, Sheikh, you're too soft, and no, Sheikh, you're this and that. And I tell you, it's not that. Islam is a balance. There are times extremely lenient and very forgiving. There is a balance. It's happened to me where people say, oh, you said this and you said that, but we're calling towards a balance. A man needs to know, and a woman, when to be lenient, when to be a little bit harder, when to be a bit harsh, when to forgive, when to hold things, and so on. So it's a beautiful balance. I believe that's what Islam would do to anyone who's genuine in learning. It would create a balance. It's not all about being, so I'm the king, I'm the boss, and that's me. I mean, no one would like you in that case, because why? It's not the case. You need the middle path. You are a king, but if only you have a queen. There goes.
Andrew Tate, and I always wondered what would David Goggins say about Andrew Tate.
You know this, man. I do know this. A lot of people like what he's saying, and a lot of people hate what he's saying.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about it. That's what I like about it. I like that this motherfucker right here, this motherfucker saying, look, dude, like it or not, this is my fucking opinion, and that's what it is. Which very few men do ever do they have their own opinion. Andrew Tate don't say that shit. He says what's on his fucking mind. And that's what's lost in this fucking world. Yeah, so I like Andrew Tate for that shit.
I don't know what he did. I know a lot of what he does is theater, right? A lot of what he does is very like satire. He plays the role of this boastful misogynist who smokes cigars and drives Lamborghinis, and that's his thing. And because of that, he's amassed an amazing amount of money. And he's done it by doing this character, this online persona, but then also says very wise things. He says ridiculous shit, but also says really interesting things. He's a very smart guy. If you listen to him being interviewed by Patrick Bet-David. Patrick Bet-David interviewed him after he got canceled off of all social media, and Patrick is fantastic. He's so wealthy and so successful outside of the world of podcasting, and so he had him on for a long-form conversation. They talk for hours, and you get to see this is a very intelligent and calculated guy. You might not agree with his message. You might not agree with all the misogynist stuff. You might not agree with, and I don't agree with it. You might not agree with all the crazy antics, but you cannot deny that that's been incredibly successful because it resonates with a lot of young men who don't feel represented in the media. And they see this guy and it looks like fun. Do they agree with what he's saying? That doesn't mean they agree with it. They think it's fun. He's smoking cigars with his Lamborghinis.
The one thing I will say, for an intelligent guy, which I agree with you he is, to be doing the things he's being accused of doing and then go seek publicity is a very unwise move.
If he did the things
Correct.
that he did.
Then it's like, what you would think if you're committing atrocities, you would try to stay under the radar. He does quite the opposite.
Yeah, but again, we don't know.
That move from somebody who's being accused of sex trafficking, I think rape was thrown in there, and then you're out there being like, look at me, crazy. Again, but what you said nailed it. Nobody knows.
All the objectionable stuff, I think, also was unnecessary. I think if he I don't know him. If I did know him, I would tell him all the boastful shit and the shit about him being, the top G and all that stuff. All that shit's great. But the misogynistic stuff, like if you have daughters or if you have a wife or if you have sisters, stuff like that, you don't want that.
Well,
you don't, that narrative, like putting that out there, that's negative to everybody. It's not even positive to him. It's like, it's not necessary.
And that's what he does. But
Yeah.
he's also selling that class.
What is the class?
It-
The Hustlers
yeah.
University? What is that? What are
It's
they
like
teaching people? Well, what do they teach? Are they?
It's like $70 a month, and you
Right.
become a top G. That's literally.
I mean, is that bad? I don't know. I mean, is it a con game, or is he trying to give them legitimate information? What is he giving them other than what he's already said in interviews and like what? How is it a university? Like what is?
He has people who, and that's where it's a grayer because
Aren't there like professors?
I haven't looked at this. I didn't know this was even real.
Yeah, no, this is what he said, like a
There's
main
so many grifters.
main business.
Secure.
It's also another thing, like this Matrix thing, which he has, which again, I am a firm believer based on my experience, like people are out to get you, they're out to get you. He also, if he committed these crimes, he's sort of brilliant, be like, they're coming for me in the next couple days, because you know they're coming, and then your followers go, aha, he was right. It's like a self-fulfilling
Right.
Who knows?
Right.
But I will say, he goes too far. Like, and yeah, you'd think rational people be like, "Whoa, you're crazy," but there's a lot of, and that's where anything's a slippery slope.
He's also a wild dude that lives in the world of kickboxing, and that is a wild group of people. I mean, you pay attention to like top flight kickboxers like the Badr Haris and there's some Melvin Manhoef. There's some wild fucking people in that world. That is a crazy world where there's not a lot of money and you're facing fucking straight up killers. And, there's all sorts of different personalities in that world, but it's a different kind of human. They're just wild, masculine, very aggressive people, and that's part of his shtick.
Opinions on Andrew Tate and the masculine movement happening in young men across the globe.
I really haven't said anything about Andrew Tate, and I probably won't tonight. But well, I'll make a few comments about the Andrew Tate phenomenon. And I think part of the reason he's so popular is because he doesn't easily bend a knee, so to speak, and it isn't obvious to me that he doesn't bend a knee because of his stellar moral character, but because I'm not particularly impressed by what he's done on the sex business front. It seems to me a bit on the pimpy side, let's say. And I'm not a great admirer of pimps. Even if they're the electronic version. And so, but I don't know that much about the details of his life. But there is a mystery there, and the mystery is, why has he captured the public imagination? And it's clear that he's become a voice, maybe like a kind of a violent rapper, same sort of attraction to young men. And that attraction is the attraction of what's the alternative to a kind of cringing defeat. And so maybe a forthright aggression is a preferable alternative to a cringing defeat. And I have some sympathy for that viewpoint, So, and I think Tate at least stands for that. And apart from that, I don't know enough about him or what he's done or what he stands for to comment. And so we'll leave it at that.